Our journey across Flores continues. We started in ND, saw rice fields, hiked up to the top of Kalimutu, saw the three-colored lakes, saw spectacular waterfalls and landscaping, water buffalo, went to a traditional village where we dressed in sarongs, the Bluestone Beach, went snorkeling at 17 Island National Park, and done just a number of spectacular things. But now the journey continues. This is one of two active volcanoes. Just driving down the road, you see things you just don't see in our country. We're at some hot spring. We're getting there. We're actually at Mangruta Hot Springs. And yep, there's a couple man-made pools. This one I'm about to get into, where the natural hot spring bubbles up. The water's quite warm, and they say be careful if you wear a white swimming suit, because it may not be white when you come out due to all the minerals and so forth in the water. But there are a couple man-made pools where you can just soak up the warm water. It's said to have medicinal effects. And I gotta admit, it does make the old aching bones feel a little bit better. It's a beautiful landscaped area, gardens, waterfall. And I guess I should have given the old guy shirtless warning, especially after coming out of that warm water. It looked like a old pink guy. Here's the little waterfall, lake. So there are different spots you can swim and get water at different temperatures. But that first pool we were in is the warmest. And if you look at reviews of the place, one thing you'll notice that they do have changing rooms, but they're not the cleanest. And I guess I'll leave it at that. But we continued on, and there's a beautiful volcano. There's one of the active volcanoes. If you wonder how high up it is.
Flat tires, been in accidents, and some stuff I just will not describe.
This is just...
And I've been there all with...
spectacular.
Hairy Fiji.
It's just cool to be up in the mountains above the clouds. An interesting little village here. I like that fence where the posts look like pencils. And here's the little restaurant where we ate. And it overlooks the volcano. Spectacular setting for breakfast. Clouds just kind of rolling by. When you look down a little bit, may or may not show up, but we're going to a village down there. Off in the distance is the ocean. Yep, here's our setting for breakfast, just outside on the patio, overlooking the volcano. Great food, great scenery. And now, looks like we've made it to the village. This is being a traditional village.
Yep.
There are several traditional villages that you can visit on the island of Flores. One you have to do quite a hike to get to. Apparently it's closed right now. But this is a spectacular one, easy to get to. And unlike the last one that we went to, we didn't need to wear the sarong.
Good morning. Hey, where are we now?
Aha Kabar.
Apa kabar?
Apa Kabar.
We did have to wear that little scarf. You can see it's a spectacular sight. And yes, people do live here. And as is the tradition, they put their nuts and corn and beans and different things out on these sheets to dry in the warm sun. just interesting to see. I don't even remember what they all are, but you can see there's quite a variety. But that's the way of life. You could hear the kids playing and chatting, and now we're up at the top looking out over the village. Cool sight. And here's Joseph, got in a selfie with us. But as I mentioned before, the island of Flores was settled by the Portuguese, so it's mainly Catholic, unlike most of the rest of Indonesia. And here is where Kelly bought his boar's tooth. Interesting lady, had to get a picture with her. And if Kelly does it, well, the rest of us have to do it too. She was a good sport. Agriculture and fishing, two of the big industries on the island of Flores. But a spectacular setting for a village at the base of a volcano. Beautiful, lush vegetation around. Interesting looking cat. An interesting little thing that I ran across when I looked up Flores is that in the about 1980s, they discovered another species of human that inhabited this island about 1 million years ago. Instead of Homo sapiens, they were called Homo floriensis. And the interesting thing is that they were a small people, only averaged about 1.1 meter, or about 3 feet 7 inches in height. They kind of referred to them as hobbits. So is that where that story came from? Who knows? Just an interesting little tidbit. And this is just a video of our drive as we drive down the road. You'll see how narrow the roads are. It probably actually looks wider there than it really is. Sometimes you brush the vegetation to the side of the road, and 2 vehicles passing can be a challenge, and even if one is just a motor scooter, there's barely room to pass. Let's see how this goes. Looks like we're going to pass them. And, yeah, did it. Looked pretty easy, but it's not as easy as it looks. And here we came to where they make alcohol. Interesting little process, but wasn't interested in that. But I was interested in this fruit. And much to my surprise, I really liked it. It tasted good, as did our meals. Kelly got nasi goreng quite often, one of the most popular of the Indonesian meals. Nasi goreng is a fried rice meal that often has a fried egg on top. Looks like now we're to more rice fields. We're actually hiking up a site to go see a waterfall. And as you can tell, the rain is pounding down, so we had those little rain suits on. But we made it to the waterfall. Spectacular sight. Again, just a paradise. We continue the hike up until we get to the lake that's feeding the waterfall. Beautiful lake, beautiful area. Here's your trivia question. How many native languages are spoken in Flores? According to Google, there are at least 6. And of course, that doesn't include English and Indonesian. Here's where we're spending the night, another beautiful spot. And then, next morning, it's off to see the spiderweb rice fields. This unique design was created by the way the communal rice fields were divided by the people. Each family was allocated a segment of the rice field radiating from the center out. There's the center. Kelly points it out a little better. This method of allocating the rice fields created a unique design, resulting in the spiderweb rice fields. Spectacular sight. You can see the village in the background. We're up on the mountain overlooking the rice fields, the clouds, the mountains. There's Kelly and I at the top. Kind of a cool sight. There's the opposite side, the village down below. And of course, as we hike, before long, Kelly starts singing.
Jared, you want some toma?
Tomato.
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 Penkitawa tomato. Toma.
Bawang.
Bawang.
Tahu.
Tahu.
Tempe.
Tempe.
Toma.
Toma.
Bawang.
Bawang. Tahu.
Tempe.
Toma.
Bawang. Tahu.
And what is that?
Long beans and shorts.
I guess that's a private joke between Joseph and Kelly. But sometimes the villages, they'd have a truck come by and they'd be saying all those things had to sell to the villagers. And now we're actually approaching the village, the area where Joseph grew up. This might be one of their rice fields. I don't remember. But here's the home where Joseph grew up. And that's Joseph with his father. His father doesn't speak much English, or any English, but he had quite the sense of humor. Okay. It's a video. What's your name? Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's another
The person
video.
responsible.
Yeah. The patriarch. And Joseph's running away.
We were invited over to eat, and the whole family came and joined in. Some of Joseph's brothers, sisters, and their spouses and kids. There's Joseph. All the kids loved seeing the video I showed of that gecko biting Kelly. And then they showed us all those eggs they had behind one of their dressers. But it was a great meal. And then Joseph took us to the little village school. We met these people and learned about their soap making. Just interesting to see where and how he grew up. It helps us appreciate some of the conveniences that we have now. Here's one of the kids out working in the rice field. Just interesting sight to see. Then it's back to the main capital city, Labuan Baiju. We spent the night, had breakfast, and then we head out for our trip over to the Komodo Islands. We'll be living on a boat for the next several days. Of course, this is the bay. Just a variety of boats. I can't believe how much the area's grown since my last visit 13 years ago. But trips to the Komodo are spectacular, and you'll have to check out my videos, part 1 and part 2 of Komodo National Park. You'll see Kelly and I with Komodo dragons, some of the other spectacular places and sites that we visited. From climbing up spectacular hills to seeing bats in a cave to snorkeling Komodo Islands, trip on the boat. Of course, one of the spectacular snorkeling things was seeing manta rays. And I've got a lot of video information on that and those other two YouTube videos. So check those out if you're interested in Komodo dragons in the Komodo National Park. But once we were done with all that, we returned back, and it was a rainy night. But Raymond, our driver who worked with Joseph, invited us over to his place for dinner. And that's Raymond and his wife. We also got to meet Joseph's wife. You see, she's pregnant there. We met other family members and friends as well. But soon after I got back, Joseph sent me a picture of his newborn son. So we had a spectacular dinner, friends and family. They made us feel welcome. And it was a great ending to a fantastic journey as we traveled across the island of Flores with Joseph, our guide, who grew up there. Then we went on the boat for several days to Komodo Islands. Spectacular in all aspects. But the following morning, we'd have to get up and head back to Bali and then fly home the next day. So I hope you enjoyed our journey across Flores. Have a great day.